Thank you so much for listening to Blue Sky Radio. This is at Radio Waterloo, and you can find us online at radiowaterloo.ca. If you live in Kitchener or Waterloo, here in Ontario, Canada, you can find us at 102.7 FM. Today I'm really proud. I'm speaking with Gareth Laffely, and I got to know him via a documentary that has come out called Their Last Ride. And actually Gareth wrote the soundtrack and made the theme song, and is just so involved and very compassionate young human being. I'll say a few more things about him. He's been writing and recording since he was 12 years old, and recorded his first CD, The Journey, at 14, which won the Rising Star Award from the Native American Music Association. Gareth was the youngest member of the Recording Academy of Arts and Sciences, and has also created an anti-bullying program that he takes into schools across America. There's just so many things to say about this young man. Thank you so much for coming on to Blue Sky Radio today, Gareth.
Hi, Annie. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Wow, like I'm just reading all these things about you, and it's really tremendous. Like you've accomplished so much in your young life, and it's so nice to see how compassionate you are. Really incredible. Do you want to talk a bit about yourself, and how did you get so involved in writing and recording music?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Music has always been something that's been a part of my life, since I was very little. Both of my parents are musicians. My mom is a singer, and my dad is a music therapist. And when I was little, I watched my dad work with people with traumatic brain injuries and use music to help heal them. And I gained a sense of what music really means at a young age. And I started playing drums when I was about 4, and I studied classical piano, classical violin a few years later, but really didn't get into songwriting until I was about 12 years old. And when I was 12, I had a very dear friend of the family that was misdiagnosed with stage 1 endometrial cancer when it was already stage 4. So we really just had a chance to go and say goodbye to her at that point. And when I saw what her husband was going through and what her family was going through, I wanted to write a song from her husband's perspective to let her know it was okay to let go. And that song, called Move On, is really what got me started in songwriting. And that song is what let me know this is what I want to do with my life. And that's when my musical journey really began.
Wow, that's really incredible. It's so nice to hear of somebody with talent that is directed towards other people too, because I think a lot of musicians, it's the kind of thing where you get attention towards yourself, and it gets kind of, it's very self-gratifying. But it's nice to hear that you're thinking about other people and giving other people something with your music. That's really incredible.
Well, I appreciate that. Music is a way to communicate. It breaks down barriers, and it's a platform. And, how you choose to use that platform is what really matters. And if I can use the music that I do to help spread awareness through positive messages or to help reach people's lives, that's what it's really about. That's what music is made for.
Mm-hmm. So how did you come about creating this anti-bullying program?
Well, when I was about 12 or 13 years old, I was facing a bully, and I didn't really know how to respond to it. And through the experience, I learned that there was nothing wrong with who I was, that there was actually things that the bully was struggling with. And that made me want to share what I learned with other kids that were going through the same thing. So I wrote a song called This Time, talking about how no matter what situation you're going through, whether it's a bully, a bad relationship, an addiction, whatever it is, you always have the choice to be able to rise above it. So I took that message into schools across North America, and I went in, I worked with their drama teams, with their drum groups, and helped put together a performance to show people just some interesting things that people might not know about bullying, some famous people that were bullied, and just talk about how they can get help and what to do if they or someone they know is facing a bully.
Wow. Good for you. That's really important. And it's so true, too, that the person who bullies is usually going through something themselves as well. It's something to keep in mind, definitely. Even though it's difficult when you're going through it and somebody's teasing you and bullying you, it's not anything anything fun, definitely. Wow. Okay. Well, you have so much going on for you. Let's talk a little bit about how you got involved with Neta Rhyne and Thundering Hooves.
It's actually, it's amazing how Neta and I connected. And when I was recording my first album, The Journey, when I was 14, I got a message from Neta, and we just talked very briefly, and she told me what she was doing, and I told her what I was doing, and it was, both of us were in the very beginning stages of our journeys with this, and somehow about, 6 years later, we just miraculously reconnected online and started talking, and I had so much more going on with the music. She was doing such incredible things, and that's when she told me about Your Last Ride and what she was doing with that, and I knew that I wanted to get involved with her at that point and just really do what I can do with my music to help her out, because her cause is just so amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So tell us more about it. You ended up writing the theme song, really, for the documentary. The documentary is Their Last Ride, and the song you wrote is called The Last Ride. Do you want to tell us more about the song?
Yeah, so the song is something that I wrote talking about the last ride that the horses face when they go by Neta Rhyne's memorial fence, going down to Presidio, Texas, which is where the horses are held in holding pens before they're shipped to slaughter across the Mexican border. And I wanted to write the song to give a glimpse of what these horses are thinking about, what might be running through their minds as they're facing this last leg of the road. Mm-hmm. And I feel very blessed that I was able to record the song at Muscle Shoals, Alabama, with one of the legendary swampers, Will McFarland, as well as to work with the amazing producer Jimmy Nutt. And there's, for anyone that's ever been to Muscle Shoals, there's just this wonderful feeling that's there. There's this healing energy that comes out of the water, and it just shows itself through the music that these people do. So the song itself that I did, The Last Ride, being able to bring that down to Muscle Shoals, which has such a strong Trail of Tears presence, and to have that journey collide with the journey of the horses and come through with the music, with the Native American flute, with the powwow drum, just to have that energy combined, that just turned into be something really spiritual for me and something that I could really share for the horses.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like a really incredible experience, and I've seen the music video, and it's fantastic. And for people who have seen the whole documentary, I know that they've said that the soundtrack, and Neta has said too, that the soundtrack really gives so much emotion and ties everything together so beautifully.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, so seeing the horses and being involved in this project, I can imagine, I mean, the whole topic about horse slaughter is something that a lot of people are able to avoid, and especially seeing the horses themselves, a lot of people don't come in contact with these beings. I live in Canada, so we have horse slaughter here in Canada. I know in the US it's illegal to slaughter horses for human consumption, but then that's the transportation towards that purpose that happens, and Mexico definitely doesn't have a humane treatment of horses, so thank you for getting involved in that project, right? And in the video as well, I've seen you're by the memorial fence that Neta has there, and it's very moving.
Yeah, that fence is it's really a very special monument to the horses that Neta's made. It's something that really pays tribute to their legacy and some of the horses that have already gone on that journey, and a reminder to the horses that they're not alone. And she wanted to say that, there's somebody there that cares enough about the horses to do something. And that's, Neta does that so well. She's just an amazing, amazing advocate for the horses. And she and Michael Lacu Rodriguez worked together so well on this film to really get such a powerful message out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's for such a sad and tragic subject, the kind of people who are getting involved to create change and awareness, it's so powerful, and there's so much love that, with time, I can really see the changes happening for the benefit of all of us and the horses as well.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I was reading a little bit more about you here. You have your latest project is Voices of the Guardians, and what's that all about?
So Voices of the Guardians is a project I've been working on now for about 4 years with my co-producer Lance Bendixson, who won an Emmy for some of his soundtrack work. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to take traditional Native American music, be it the flute, the drums, and the rhythms of Native American tribes, and to use that music against a symphony backdrop with some modern music, and to take the wisdom of Native American elders and have that brought to life through the music. So we ended up working on the CD, as I said, for about 4 years, and we went to Santa Fe, New Mexico during part of the recording, and we were blessed enough to work with the actor Wes Studi from Dances with Wolves, Last of the Mohicans, Avatar, and Wes did a monologue over some of the songs in his native Cherokee language. So we were using the words from Chief Joseph, Morning Dove, and a lot of different Native American elders over this music, so that not only do you hear ancient music combined with modern music from George Lucas's Skywalker Symphony, but you also hear the words of the people spoken over the music. And that, to me, is something that was really powerful.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it. And it's been released? You've released the CD by now?
Yes, the CD is available. It's on my website, which is garethmusic.com, and you can find it also on voicesoftheguardians.com.
Wow. Well, congratulations on all of your awesome success and all of your experiences, and you're such a young person still, too. Like, how incredible. You should be really proud of yourself, and your mother should be very proud of you. You're doing great.
Well, thank you very much. I've been very blessed to work with a lot of great people, and, doing this project with Neta and with the Coup, it was such an awesome experience. When I first got involved with their last ride, I was going to do the theme song for the film, and I spoke with the Coup, and he said, yeah, if you want to, do a couple songs for the soundtrack, that would be great. And so then when it started out, I was doing, a couple songs, and that couple songs turned into a couple more and a couple more, and I ended up doing about 11 songs that I wrote, recorded, and engineered for the project. So it was definitely an awesome experience. I just felt like, it got me so much more connected in the project, and then going down to Presidio after doing the music, it really hits home by how much these horses need protection, and they need more people like Neta in this film to really advocate for them.
Mm-hmm. And yourself also, because obviously the fact that you're putting words to their suffering and putting some emotion into your music that can really help people connect, because the subject is so difficult, and a lot of people, they kind of shut down and they don't want to think about it. It's kind of, and a lot of people say there's nothing we can do, it's always going to be like this, you can't stop horse slaughter, and it's very naysayer dominated topic. And so it's really nice to speak with you, who's putting compassion before all of the fear that others would want us to just say, well, we can't do anything about it, but you are doing something about it. So thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that. And you bring up a really good point too about the compassion and how people, they think that they can't make a difference, and sometimes people don't even try because they think that just one person can't really step out of the crowd and actually bring about change. But there's a very good friend of mine that's a Penobscot elder, and he says that it just takes one drop of water in a pond to create a ripple that travels across the entire pond. So it doesn't matter if it's just one person and one small act, it creates a ripple. And the more people that you have trying to bring about change, that's when you get a wave, and they'll sweep across the world and really make that change. So people like Neta and the music that I'm doing with this, it's a start. but we need people to listen to it. We need people to watch the film. We need people to get involved. And that's when it'll really start gaining motion.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, this is like the beginning of it, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah.
Are you on tour, or how is your tour life going?
Right now, I'm not performing a whole lot on the road because I'm a full-time college student, and one of the things that I really advocate for is for Native American youth to go to college. So I am very, very busy working with Middle Tennessee State University right now, but it's an awesome experience, and I do get a chance to get out and perform a little bit here and there during the semester.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to listen to, with Gareth Laffely, Still They Run, The Journey, Spirit Horse, and last, Flutitude, before we'll speak with Gareth again.
Whispering down on the plains, hear it calling out your name like a fire in the night, reckless courage shining bright. Restless spirit, untamed heart, no denying what you are, roaming free with the wind. The sound of thunder draws you in, heartbeats faster, running after all the dreams you cannot see, something that can never be undone. Still they run. All that threatens to rein you in either fades or begins again. So race the earth, hold on fast, chase the sky, don't look back. Restless spirit, untamed heart, no denying what you are, roaming free with the wind. The sound of thunder draws you in, heartbeats faster, running after all the dreams you cannot see, something that can never be undone. Still they run. Restless spirit, untamed heart, no denying what you are, roaming free with the wind. The sound of thunder draws you in, heartbeats faster, running after all the dreams you cannot see, something that can never be undone. Still they run.
In the year 1830, under the jurisdiction of President Andrew Jackson, the Indian Removal Act was issued. Thousands of Native Americans were forced out of their homes, forced to march to a land far unknown. Many of them suffered and died along the way. I wrote this song to honor their spirits.
So thanks for listening to Blue Sky Radio. Today is Valentine's Day, and we're here speaking with Gareth Laffely. And Gareth it's pretty interesting regarding the flute, and we'll get right to it. Since today is Valentine's Day, Gareth actually had something to say about the flute regarding being a courtship instrument.
That's right, yeah. So since today is Valentine's Day, I'd love to take just a minute to tell you a little bit about the history of the Native American flute. Originally, the flutes were made as courtship instruments. The young Native American men would sit outside of the huts or the teepees of the women and play flute for them at night. And if a woman came out to see who was playing flute, then that meant she had to marry whoever that person was. So flutes have brought people together for many, many years and have changed a lot of lives. And after the two people would get married, the man would take his flute, wrap it up in a blanket, and hide it somewhere. And today, they're finding all these flutes around the country that have been preserved since the 1800s, and there's all these flutes that are intact that have been hidden, and that's really why we know about the flutes today, is from the courtship instrument that was set aside.
Wow, that's really beautiful. So many inspirational stories coming out of there. Like, that is really, I had never actually heard about that. That is very unique. Wow.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting about the flute is, since the flute isn't like a traditional instrument where you have sheet music for it and it's something that you learn or play in a band, it's something that comes from the heart. And that way, when a man would play for a woman, she could hear what was in his heart based off of what the music he was playing. And that's why the flute is so personal. You know, that's why there's so much energy and creativity that comes out of flute music today.
Wow, that is so extraordinary. I had never heard about that. That's something that I think people will really appreciate hearing. I wonder if that can bring something back for people too today, because what woman wouldn't want to be courted by, you know, her potential future husband? Using his emotions. That is just such a beautiful way of showing someone how special they are to you.
It is, but you have to comply with city ordinances and not get out big amplifiers in the middle of the night, too. That's kind of frowned upon.
That's funny. Yeah, I guess, like, bring the person to a quiet place. I guess, yeah, today there's a lot of things, like, you know, I guess you have to know the person and things like that, but it's a really beautiful way of... Yeah, right? Well, it definitely beats some of the websites where people hook up. I mean, I think this would be a more natural way of, you know, seeing that somebody actually cares about you. They took the time to write you a beautiful song and play it from the heart.
Absolutely. And you know, that's something that's so special about music, is it allows somebody to tell a story that is completely personal. You know, it's something that's unique to the person that's doing the music.
Yeah.
I know for me, doing my music, I was never taught how to play the Native American flute. That's just something that I taught myself, and allowed the music to really guide me as I was teaching myself, and it really transformed the music that I do and allowed me to do what I do today.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. I mean, we've been listening to your music, and it is very emotional, and you kind of feel like you're drawn into a story. And I know some of the things you obviously have written about horses in your music, and you can really feel, like, I felt like I was transported and somehow part of these horses' journey in a way. And like some of the things that you sing about are like, they really transform, like it transforms. And I feel like it really brings you into the music. Like, you have a real talent for capturing the emotion of a moment and like putting it into words too. That's an extraordinary talent that you have.
Well, thank you so much. You know, as a musician, that's really one of my ultimate goals, is to be able to take something that I feel or something that I witness and to be able to tell a story through the music. And, you know, that's so awesome that you bring that up, because music is something that's so powerful, where it can inspire people, and it can not only just show people about something, but it can show someone what a musician is feeling. Music is a way of transferring feeling in a way that nothing else can.
Yeah, and it's really nice too because obviously we live in a world where a lot of artists are looking for attention, or maybe their motivation is not always being able to inspire others, but they're inspired by the fact that, they're a celebrity, or, they're getting, they're making lots of money or something like that, and they're on the front cover of a magazine, or nowadays on social media and things like that. So and it's not always very heartfelt music, whereas when your inspiration comes from love and actually trying to share a message, it's really obvious the difference. And I mean, you write your own stuff too. A lot of musicians or artists, they don't sing their own songs.
Right. Yeah. It is interesting to see the way the music world is going in a lot of ways today. But every time that you see an artist that's stepping out and really singing something that means something, or doing music that has a purpose behind it, that's what music is all about. And I think we definitely need to see a lot more of that today.
Yeah, that's true. Well, do you want to talk a bit about your native heritage?
Absolutely, yeah. So I come from the Mi'kmaq people of Maine, Canada, New Brunswick, as well as the Cree people. And I've had the opportunity to really take in the history of my heritage and combine that with the music that I do, to be able to tell stories to people and to be able to relate to people at different colleges. I'll go and speak and do music at different colleges talking about Native American culture and music, as well as do different programs for school children. It's just so important to me to be able to take the culture that's been here in North America for so many years and to share that with today's youth. It's so important that we remember the heritage that was here before.
Yeah, definitely. Like they say, this is all indigenous land that we're on here, so we have to pay respect to everyone. And going out to schools is so important too. And what a role model that you're able to be for young people. That's amazing, actually. So thank you for all of your commitment. And I'm really in awe of all of what you're doing, and the fact that you even have something like an anti-bullying program that you think of it, that's something that is important to you. That's also really extraordinary. So, congratulations on all of your hard work and all of the heart that you put into what you're doing. It's actually, as somebody that's watching, it's really incredible to see.
Well, I really appreciate that. I have to say, too, my music is something that has always been an outlet for me. It's been a way that I can express how I feel, and to be able to take that feeling, as I mentioned, and share that feeling with people in a way that can benefit them. But at the same time, I've been so blessed to work with such a tremendous team of people throughout my musical career, awesome producers, musicians, and my parents have fully supported my music, and that's been one of the driving forces. That and my faith has just been really pushing me while I do the music. So it's been not just about the music, but about the people around me, and I think that's why the music that I do can tell a story, is because every song that I do has a special meaning to me and has a story to me, and then I can take that and share that.
Yeah, I was just looking at the photos of you with Neta Rhyne, and I believe your mother might be in one of the pictures, and it's when you're at the memorial fence for Thundering Hooves, and you can really see the emotions in the photos, like very captive moments. Just by looking at the photos, you can really tell it's very vivid. Like, I get drawn right into it, and I feel like I'm right there. And like, that documentary and what you did there is such a fantastic work. And getting people to talk about horses, and in this world that we live in, where we really need, what we need is heart in what we do, and that's really what you accomplished.
Well, thank you. I feel so blessed that I was able to work with Neta and partner with Thundering Hooves for this project. It's amazing what Neta is doing, and you talk about passion and heart and putting out a great message. She is just an absolutely wonderful role model for everyone that wants to have a cause, something that they can follow. I mean, she takes these statues of horses into hospitals so that the children there that are undergoing treatment for cancer or whatever they're facing, they can see this horse and they can put their hands on this horse. And she brings joy into so many people's lives. And seeing that and seeing all that she was doing really helped me to create the music for the documentary and to put my heart into everything that I was doing. So it was awesome getting to work with her and Michael Lacu Rodriguez and just coming forward with this project for the horses.
Yeah. I hope it'll be something that they may show at movie theaters eventually. I mean, I know it's still on the circuit for, I know it's in the Equus Film Festival, which started in New York last year and is coming to Canada this year. So, you know, it's still growing. It's a growing audience, I guess, so to speak.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, it's such an awesome project. The more people share about it, and that's why I really appreciate you talking about this project. You know, it's something that needs to be told, and thank you for giving a voice to it.
Oh, you're welcome. It's really actually traumatizing to witness. I mean, for me, the reason I even started this radio program some years ago is because I wanted to help be a voice for the horses that are facing these gruesome horror, both here in Canada and going to Mexico. So being able to put the people out there that are actually on the front lines, like you say with Neta Rhyne and other individuals, like that's sort of the whole purpose of this radio program. And like yourself that are creating music and bringing the emotions in there, because it's such a difficult industry that a lot of people don't want to look at it, and they don't want to think about horse slaughter because a lot of people feel like there's nothing we can do about it. So as opposed to try and get involved and try to become part of the whole mission that, you know, we can still create change. The only way we can create change is by actually getting involved and supporting people who are trying to do something positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's so important to do whatever you can. You know, people sometimes think, I can't really do anything. Like you mentioned, you know, there's not a lot of ways that they think they can help, but even just sharing something on Facebook, even just putting a message out there, if you can go out and for every good deed that you do, if you can inspire one other person, it doesn't matter how many people you reach, if there's one person that's inspired by what you do, then that's your goal.
Yeah.
You know, that's continuing that wave that needs to travel.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, Gareth, what's next for you? What's your vision for the future?
Well, right now I'm continuing to work on two things. My first thing that I'm working on is continuing to pursue music, and I'm working on a few new recording projects, working on some touring as well. And in addition to that, I'm a full-time college student, so I'm working towards my bachelor's degree right now before transferring to another university for my master's degree.
Wow, that's amazing.
So continuing to stay very busy and continuing to work on music for films. So that's one of my greatest passions, is to be able to take, you know, all this amazing footage and these powerful images that you can see, like you see in the documentary, and to put music to that, to add the emotion to it. You know, that's what I love.
Wow. That's great work. And where can people find your music, other than what they have heard within this radio hour and podcast? Where can people listen to your music online, or where can they purchase your music?
Well, people can listen to my music on my website, which is garethmusic.com. That's GarethMusic.com, as well as Amazon, iTunes, and CD Baby. All my music is there as well.
Nice. Well, it's been really great talking with you. Thank you so much for coming on Blue Sky Radio. I'm very proud to have talked to you today, and I will continue to share your music and your positive message of unity and love and doing something great for your community. I think you're a great inspiration for so many people. And you're so young as well, which is so amazing that, you know, here you are. There are people older than you that do far less and have achieved much less, but you can still be an inspiration to people who have, because it's hard sometimes to keep your heart open in this world we live in with the hardship that we face. People sometimes become hardened, and music is a way to help us to feel again. So you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you very much, Annie. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and thank you for all that you do. You know, as a musician, we have to get our message out there, but without people like you, we couldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I'm the one who was really thankful and proud to be able to share your music, and I know people will appreciate it and enjoy it. So, Gareth Laffely.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, and on Valentine's Day as well, we heard a little bit about the special background of flute, which I had no idea that was the background of it. That's really fantastic. I think that's something that men should, or women too, can take to heart, that, you know, play from the heart. If you love someone, share via music. That's a way to capture somebody's heart, definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, Gareth. Well, thank you again so much. And if you ever want to come on Blue Sky again, please stay in touch and let me know. I would love to have you back anytime.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
All righty.
Thundering hooves echo above, a storm that is on the way. This place that we love is all that we know, but soon it will be ripped away. There's something inside us that we can't let go, voice on the wind that we've never known, rough hands and pain that we can't understand. Our blood is the life of this land. This is the last ride, last sunset we see before we close our eyes. Barbed wire, ropes and rust, there's nowhere left to run. Our fate is written in the dust, hanging halters on the fence to say goodbye, 'cause this is the last ride. Green endless fields kissed by the sun, cool water, sweet grass and sage. There's a freedom that comes from the wide open space. The memories are calling my name. The border approaches the end of the line. I wonder, will we be the last of our kind? Forsaken dreams and broken trust, will you remember us? This is the last ride, last sunset we see before we close our eyes. Barbed wire, ropes and rust, there's nowhere left to run. Our fate is written in the dust, hanging halters on the fence to say goodbye, 'cause this is the last ride.
Girajik Gaya is Igadulis Gasti Inno Gashak Wallachik Sawu Ige Hest Young Gas Sawu Noha Gaya Sata Kilabi go hit Yaga Yosta Asen Nikad Yuna Lego Sta Yanoka La Figa de Gason. The sacred hoop of my people was one of the many hoops that made one circle. As individual fingers, we can easily be broken, but all together we make a mighty fist.
Lost myself so many times that I can't remember what I meant to find. Somewhere along the road I guess I lost my hope. Voices calling out my name say that I'm the only one to blame. I've gotta wake up myself, I can't keep living this way. I get so tired of this. I feel like I just can't win. So I raise my voice up to the sky, though I'm the only one here to hear the reason why. The only thing that'll make me feel free starts with me. Excuses only tie me down like the empty feeling of an old ghost town. Gonna wipe the dust out of my eyes, take off this thin disguise, break these chains, untie these knots. Gonna claim the hope I thought I lost. Gonna wake up myself, I can't keep living this way. I I get so tired of this. I feel like I just can't win. So I raise my voice up to the sky, though I'm the only one near to hear the reason why. The only thing that'll make me feel free starts with me. Starts with me. I get so tired of this. I feel like I just can't win. So I raise my voice up to the sky, though I'm the only one near to hear the reason why. The only thing that'll make me feel free. I get so tired of this. I feel like I just can't win. So I raise my voice up to the sky, though I'm the only one near to hear the reason why. The only thing that'll make me feel free starts with me. Starts with me. Starts with me. Starts with me. Starts with me.
Thanks for listening to Blue Sky Radio. We have been speaking with Gareth Laffely for the last hour, and we just heard The Last Ride, which is the theme song for a documentary, Their Last Ride. Gareth also composed the music for the film, soundtrack and background music. The Last Ride was recorded at the legendary Muscle Shoals in Alabama with Grammy-winning engineer Jimmy Nutt and Will McFarlane, one of the legendary Swampers. Gareth traveled to Texas to make the music video for The Last Ride song with Michael Aku Rodriguez, who was the filmmaker along with Neta Rhyne of Thundering Hooves on their Last Ride documentary film. When they shot the video, it included going to Presidio in Texas and shooting outside the holding pens before the horses get shipped across the border to Mexico for slaughter. Filming also occurred at the Thundering Hooves Memorial Fence, a moving tribute to all the slaughterbound horses made by Neta Rhyne of Thundering Hooves. Gareth says that the writing the music for the film was very emotional, and Gareth put his heart and soul into the music to help drive the emotion behind the film. Second, you heard the song Voices of the Guardians, which is a new release of Gareth, and it was recorded with Emmy Award-winning producer Lance Bendixson and features award-winning Native American actor Wes Studi of Dances with Wolves, Last of the Mohicans, Avatar, and Hostiles. And we also heard the song Starts With Me. So I want to put out a huge thank you to Gareth Laffely for coming on Blue Sky Radio today. It was a pleasure to speak with him. If you want to find this show in other places, you can go to radiowaterloo.ca. Also, Blue Sky Radio has a